Welcome, Cleveland Heights. Thank you for joining us today as we celebrate those people who have given their lives for us on our behalf on Memorial Day. Today we gather here at this solemn memorial to appreciate the people who fought on our behalf and gave their lives. As is tradition in Cleveland Heights, we don't, have a parade where we cheer and we laugh. Although this is a time for a bit of joy as well, because of the love that underlies the sacrifice that so many people have made on our behalf. We can celebrate that love, that care for us, for our country, at the same time as we mourn the loss of those people who loved so much and gave so much. Now, I won't spend a lot of time talking today, but I want everybody to leave here knowing that today is an important day, not just because of the sacrifice, but because of the country that made the sacrifice worth it. This country is an experiment in the consent of the governed, an experiment in democratic institutions that we all hold dear. And we are sitting here in front of this World War II memorial, a war where the United States fought against fascism and tyranny. And without getting too political today, I will say that fight has never really ended. And so I want to take this sacrifice that we honor today and ask all of you to sacrifice something of yourselves for this country as well, to sacrifice something of yourselves in the continuing fight against autocracy and fascism, because there will always be those elements of our society seeking to push this country over the edge. So please honor the sacrifices that have been made in our name by giving something of yourselves as well. And with that, I'd like to lead us all in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Right now, I'd like to invite City Council President Tony Kuda up to the lectern to provide some remarks.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council, Chief Britton, and all those gathered here to honor our veterans today. I would like to tell you a story about my grandfather, Biagio Francina. Actually, they pronounced it Franchina, who, as an Italian national, joined the American Army in World War I. He eventually went on to marry my grandmother, Teresa Gumina, in Sant'Agata, Sicily, and they came to America on a boat in 1928 to seek a new life 10 years after the end of World War I. I never met my grandfather, but I have his citizenship papers, his enlistment papers, his marriage license, and this poem, which was turned into a song that he may have carried with him when he was in battle. It's called "O Soldier, Soldier." The first line is, "O soldier, soldier, won't you marry me?" with your musket, fife, and drums. And then the poem goes on to talk about how the soldier can't get married because he has no coat or hat or gloves. Eventually, the woman of interest finds those items in her grandfather's chest and offers to give them to the soldier. Well, as I said, I never met my grandfather, so I can romanticize about this poem and what it meant to him. And maybe while he was in battle, he was thinking about getting home and marrying my grandmother. Who knows? But anyway, this is something he carried with him. And I never got to thank him for serving our country. So today, I thank Grandpa Francina and all the veterans who fought to protect us. Thank you.
Thank you, President Kuda. Right now, it is my honor to introduce a young gentleman to provide some remarks as well, Kareem Azam. If you'd please come up to the lectern and share some words.
All right. Good morning, and thank you for having me here today. As we gather to commemorate Memorial Day, we are reminded of the profound significance of this occasion. Memorial Day is a time for us to reflect on the sacrifices made by the brave men and women of our armed forces, those who have given their lives to protect the freedoms we hold dear. The importance of Memorial Day cannot be overstated. It is a solemn reminder of the cost of our liberty, and it is a day to honor the heroes who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation. These men and women left behind families, dreams, futures, all for the greater good of ensuring for us to continue to live in freedom. Their courage and dedication are the foundation upon which this nation stands, and it is our duty to remember and honor them. As an American, Memorial Day holds a special importance in my heart. Being a child of two immigrants, I have always been touched by the unity and solidarity that this day brings. It warms my heart to see people from all walks of life coming together to pay their respects to our fallen heroes. In times of need, Americans always rise to the occasion, showing unparalleled support for our troops and their families. This unity is a testament to the strength and resilience of this nation. On this day, we shine a light on the sacrifices made by the military personnel. We are reminded by the soldiers who would never return home, the families who have been forever changed, and the communities that felt the impact of loss. We honor their bravery, their selflessness, and the unwavering commitment to our country. It is essential that we continue to educate future generations about the significance of Memorial Day, ensuring that the memories of these heroes live on. As we stand here today, let us take a moment to reflect on the values that these men and women fought to protect. Freedom, democracy, and the pursuit of happiness is not just ideals, they are the very essence of what it means to be an American. The sacrifices of our fallen heroes have safeguarded these values, and it is our responsibility to uphold them in our daily lives. Let us remember the importance of supporting our veterans and active duty service members. Their dedication and service do not end when they return home. They continue to carry the burden of these experiences, and it is our duty to ensure that they receive the respect and care that they deserve. By standing together, we can provide a network of support and appreciation for those who've given so much for our nation. Thank you all for being here today and taking the time to honor our heroes. May their courage and sacrifice continue to inspire us all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kareem. With that, I would like to invite our Boy Scouts to raise the American flag.
Attention.
if the Scouts would join me in laying the wreath. This next part is a bit frightening. We don't have a choir today, but I'm hoping that all of you will join me in singing the national anthem. Yes? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you all so much for enduring my singing voice. With that, I would love to turn it over to the Heights High Band to perform an arrangement of military service marches.
Feel free to stand. We're going to, as your service branch is announced, we're going to honor both the fallen, current, retired, and all other veterans who have served our country by playing the military marches. Once again, feel free to stand as your service is announced.
The United States Army. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the Army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the Army goes rolling along. Then it's high, high, hey, the Army's on its way. Proud and strong, for wherever we go, you will always know that the Army goes rolling along. The United States Navy. Anchors away, my boys, anchors away. Farewell to foreign shores, we sail at break of day. Hey, 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 stand, Navy voyage home. United States Marines. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we fight our country's battles in the air and land and sea. First to fight for land and freedom and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of the United States Marines. The United States Air Force. Off we go into the wild blue wander, climbing high into the sun. Here we go, zooming to meet our thunder. Attaboys, give up the gun. Down we dive, spouting our flame from under. Off with one hell of a roar. We live in fame or go down in flame. Ain't nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force. The United States Space Force. We're the mighty watchful eye, guardians beyond the blue, the invincible line, war fighters brave and true, boldly reaching into space. There's no limit to our sky, standing guard both night and day. We're the Space Force from on high. The United States Coast Guard. We're always ready for the call. We place our trust in thee. Through surf and storm and howling gale, high shall our purpose be. Semper Paratus our guide, our fame, our glory too. To fight and save or fight and die. Hey, Coast Guard, we are for you.
Thank you so much. And I would be remiss if I didn't, again, thank the Heights High School Marching Band and the All Generations Band for providing us with beautiful music today. You know, Cleveland Heights is a community that dreams of a world without war. But until we as a people evolve to that point, I want to express my gratitude for those people who are willing to put themselves on the line to protect the people they care about. And with that, I'd like to invite any veterans that we have in the audience to come up to the lectern, state your name, your branch of service, your time of service, and say a few words if you're willing to.
Thank you, Mayor Sarin. And by the way, I knew you had many talents. I did not know singing was one of them. So I won't take much of your time. My name is Larry Nowak. I spent 36 years on active duty and in the reserves for the Marine Corps. And sadly, I was of a generation that had a war. My war was the Vietnam War. It's World War II behind me. The Korean War veterans, it's assumed there are none here because none came up. They are passing. There's a message there, which is that as long as any of us can remember, people have been willing to go forth to protect our freedom. But it's more than that, at least for the last 100 years. We've tried to protect the freedom of others. Sometimes we've made a mess of it. But we usually started out trying to do the right thing. And it is important in my mind that we don't forget the people who died trying to protect the freedom of others. I only have one or two more things to say. First of all, I have a lot. Veterans are, of all people, the least warlike. We've been there. We don't want another one. The wall in Washington, D.C. is covered with the names of my friends and squadron mates. I hope that none of you have to go to a memorial to see the names of your friends and colleagues. But every one of us knew that in our hearts there was a reason for doing it. We are glad we did it, and we are honored to have this amazing country which just keeps trying to get it right. And every time, I think, we get it a little bit better. We're not there yet. We'll get there. And thank you for all for being here, because as the only veteran here, it's really a little bit sad. When I first started coming, the line of veterans was down to the end of the sidewalk here. So we're beginning to thin out. And I hope none of you end up in that line. But if the call comes, I hope you will be willing to serve your country. Thank you, folks.
I'm going to make a final call for any veterans who would like to say some words. We'll say Larry definitely said it all. You know, we continue to make a mess of it, and we continue to keep trying to do better, and that's what our country is supposed to be about. Again, I'd like to thank all of you for being here today and joining us in this celebration of service. And with that, I think we can conclude our program with more music from the All Generations Band. Thank you again for being here this year. And our honor guard closing out the ceremony with a recessional. Thank you all for being here.